And welcome back on a Sunday morning in my neck of the woods. During the night, had rained. And welcome back to Low Gear. Electric vehicles are a very controversial issue. And obviously the powers that be are pushing us towards this type of form of transport. Whilst in the making, they're making people more poorer. And therefore you won't be able to afford private transport. This is one of the so-called Agenda 2030 narratives. Abolition of private ownership of vehicles. The fact is, with an electric car, everyone knows the limitations. And the fact is, if it gets damaged in a road accident, 99% out of 100, the insurance company will write it off. If it even has a minor damage to it, it'll be written off by the insurance company. And therefore, all the costs of disposals you have to pay. Whether the costs of the disposals of your insurance on your motor vehicle covers such events, you have to check it out. But one thing is clear here in Italy. In an event due to a road accident, your vehicle is considered a written-off. Your insurance company pays for the costs of demolition, basically. In the question of electric cars, they have to go to a specialist centre, which they are rare, and therefore they charge prices the way they like, because lithium batteries, they're not that easy to dispose or even recycle, and therefore the hazards of stocking vehicles, which takes a lot of space because they have to be distant one from another and so on. And even your electric car is not worth the while repairing it. Even the cost of the disposal is the same thing, and that means you have to pay for it, and it will become pretty dear as well. Like you have to scrap your diesel or petrol car. They practically a lot more cheaper, a fraction of how much they're going to charge you a disposable electric car due to the battery and all the hazards these lithium batteries have. And plus, normal cars, they have a second life, because the parts of those vehicles, if they're good, they can be reusable on other vehicles of the same model and make, and therefore creating a secondary economy and a recycle economy. For electric cars, you think you can go around free charging, free electricity, zero emissions. It's a load of hogwash, a load of crap. Because in the end, purchase of a vehicle in the beginning and towards its end of its, should say, service duty, its usage, it's going to be expensive to get rid of. And obviously the second-hand markets on electric cars, in 2 years they lose a lot of their purchase value, because due to the batteries, because they're expensive to replace, and even other components on electric cars are expensive. If you go to the main dealers, BMW can even charge you, was it $6,000 just to run a test on one of their was it, fully EV models. There are very little people who know how to repair it, and the costs and parts are very, very dear. There are some car makers that don't even make spare parts for these cars, like a Tesla. What use is buying a car after the warranty is going to be riddled with problems? It will touch you out of your own pocket, because it won't be convenient, because within 5 years time you're going to have to replace that battery, and that battery has a certain cost. I've been hearing $20,000, $25,000 just on the battery. You put labour and VAT on the top of it, it probably will run around about God knows what, $30,000. With that money you buy yourself already another vehicle, a petrol vehicle, the new Mustang which came out. In comparison of the electric 500, which is selling bad, because the petrol version of that model, the Fit 500, I think it retails around about €16,000 roughly. And obviously these companies are asking for incentives for people to buy these cars which they do not want. They get government incentives to build cars which people do not want. You have to build cars which people watch, the market wants. Because in the end, if they continue on this so-called madness of how they see the market regarding cars in general, there's a big probability these companies will fail in the end. And probably this is what the powers that be want to do.